Why is small talk so important? What is it? And why do so many British people seem to want to engage in it? That's the topic of this episode of the English Right Now podcast, an English language learning podcast in which we teach you at least 10 pieces of vocabulary. We say at least because it's a real conversation. Anything can happen. Here is my dear friend Rob. Hello.
Hello.
I
A bit more
won. I won.
understated.
I
A
love
bit
it.
more understated for me. How are you? How's the weather where you are today?
It's absolutely scorching today. Good
see?
start on small talk right there. How was it there?
Not bad. Quite pleasant. Thank you very much.
Nice. And by the way, for anybody who's new to this podcast, the reason my hello was so exaggerated is because Rob and I seem to have a competition about who can deliver the best hello at the start. So it started, and then he went for understated, so it completely destroyed my thing. But so yeah, we're talking about small talk. A lot of students they want to know basically what it is, how to engage in it, and why on earth we do it. Because in some cultures, small talk is not really a thing. Do you enjoy small talk, or do you engage in it? Probably should be the first question.
Well, yes. I mean, I engage in it. I think it's a necessary part of meeting people in the UK, at least, making small talk. So I think I'm quite good at making small talk and just talking about irreverent things, really. You don't have a deep conversation about politics, do you, with small talk? It's kind of talking about like the weather, like we were just talking about, I talk about people's habits, what they're wearing, what they've been doing today, that sort of thing. Yeah. It's a good way to start a conversation, at least.
It really is. And we can talk about the function of it. But you're absolutely right. I do it a lot. There's a whole thing where I wonder if British people are not comfortable with silence, so they feel they need to fill the air, especially when they're standing at a bus stop, or even when you're coming down the road and somebody's there and you're, baking today, isn't it? Like, why did I say that? But I often wonder if British people aren't that really comfortable with the culture. I'm sure some people are, but so small talk. It's the best definition of small talk is it's a sort of a chat. So a chat is a conversation. It's an informal word for a conversation. That's about kind of topics that aren't too serious. And we do it everywhere, from the bus stop. Mate, the bus stop is a classic. In the shop. But it's not a kind of deep and meaningful conversation. It's like you say, classic topic. What would you say the most classic topic is?
Well, I think weather's always a good starter, isn't it?
That's it. The weather. Commenting on the weather. Oh, it's lovely today. Oh, it's crazy today. 1 minute's hot, 1 minute's cold. Typical British weather. These sort of things, they are kind of. I've done a whole sort of lesson on the most common things to say for small talk. I'll put a link down in the description. But it is. It's kind of, if it's hot, we say it's really hot or scorching, and we got all these words. If it's cold, it's freezing, dreary, miserable. We like to comment on the weather, don't we?
Yeah, we do, definitely. It's a good way of, I say, starting. You're testing the waters, I'd say, with another person. Testing the waters. You're kind of seeing what they're like. Are they going to have a conversation with you? Maybe you could take this conversation further. It's like at a party. You meet people for the first time. What are you going to talk about? You're not going to talk immediately about how much money they earn or that kind of stuff. So you talk about the weather, or I like your shoes and what kind of shoes you're wearing. So hopefully the conversation will grow. You can make new friends through making small talk.
Yeah, and you used to. So we need to talk very much about something that's a key interest of mine, which is the politeness theory. That's something we're going to talk about, because I know that's not something that you're as aware of at the moment, but we're going to talk about it. The politeness theory, and you used a really interesting piece of vocabulary, which is test the waters. And test the waters is like to check the reaction. It's like a tentative approach to kind of seeing how things will be received. So if it's not received well, we will withdraw. We'll kind of stop. We'll disengage. And this can be an awkward moment as well, because then people say, "Oh, British people, they're a bit closed, or they don't, engage." But it's usually when we've tried to test the waters, hasn't gone well, and then we've gone back to not wanting to offend that person. So I mean, this isn't when we talk about small talk, it's not a full-on chin wag. A chinwag is a British slang term which means a long conversation, often about gossip and things like, oh, let's have a chinwag, a catch up. It's a lot quicker and lighter than that. It's much more. Chinwag is one of the key pieces of vocabulary, but frivolous, which is
Mm.
also a key piece. Frivolous also means it's quite, you know, not serious. A frivolous
Yeah.
chat, a bit throwaway. Yeah,
Throwaway,
but
yeah, disposable conversation. It's nothing too amazing or enlightening. It's
yeah,
just a pleasantries, we could say, of being nice to
it's
somebody. Yeah,
not going to change your life. Maybe because I think that small talk, as you say, tests the waters and then potentially leads into friendships, bigger conversations down the line. And
yeah,
I say this is a key piece of vocabulary. It kind of opens doors, which
yeah,
means that it creates opportunities.
yeah. I mean, you could meet a new girlfriend, wife, whatever, partner through starting off with small talk. You never know
Yeah.
what it might lead to.
Well, one chat about the weather, and I'm getting married. No, it's a process. I think British friendships are created over time. They're generally quite, I would say, they're generally quite slow to build. But once they build, they're quite firm and well built. But we use small talk as well to break the ice. Break
Yeah.
the ice is where we kind of sort of open up a situation where the situation is maybe quite dead, and then we break the ice. It's like an introduction, but we
Mm.
often use it to mean like to start the conversation going.
Yes, it makes a situation less awkward. It can be very awkward, very uncomfortable, can't it, when you're with
Yeah,
a stranger or a new person? So, yeah, asking them about the weather or something simple, as you say, breaks
yeah,
the ice, makes things a little easier.
yeah. And you use the word there, awkward. It's one of our key pieces of vocabulary. It means uncomfortable, bit strange, bit weird. You feel awkward. Have you ever felt awkward with anything you've said to anybody in small talk?
Yes, because I've tried to break the ice many a time, and I've said things, just stupid things, really. And
Yeah.
you think, oh no, why did I say that? What must they think of me?
Yeah. I think yeah, I often joke that British people are quite awkward. I think it's that silence thing. If we're not talking about the weather, another key strategy of small talk is to comment on things we can see. Now, not in a rude way. We wouldn't talk about somebody's body shape or something like that, but maybe, oh, the bus is late again. Look at this, or some a current event kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's getting into the territory of gossip. But
Mm.
maybe if you're walking along and you see a dog and you say, "Oh, that's a big dog, isn't it?" It's such an awkwardly weird thing to say, but it's like designed to break the ice. Or
Yeah.
my goodness, that cat really jumped, didn't it? It's like, why?
Yes. The sky is very blue for the time of year, isn't it? What what does that mean?
I think we could fill a book with ridiculous things British people have said to break the ice.
Yes.
Or, I think we should find it. I think that's our new book, Rob.
Yeah.
We should create that. And
As I say, this is portrayed in a lot of British comedy, isn't it? Awkward characters who say something stupid, or yeah, Basil Fawlty is a classic example in Fawlty Towers. He says
yeah,
things to try and, I don't know, break the ice and make conversation, but people take it the wrong way. They misinterpret what he
yes.
said.
That's a good piece of vocabulary. To take something the wrong way is to misunderstand or not not to accept the information in the way it was meant to be
Mm.
delivered. So if I say one thing, you understand or misunderstand another one.
Yeah.
And I will say at the moment, by the way, if you do want to support this podcast going forward, you could always buy a cup of tea for me or for Rob. There's a link down below. There, kid, him drinking his cup of tea. It's sweltering outside.
Thank you.
But you can buy a cup of tea or a nice ice cream, as you said previously. But yeah, we've talked about this kind of thing. It's usually quite indirect conversation, isn't it? It's not very direct. And I
No.
think we are quite an indirect culture in a lot of ways. We skirt around things, we go around things, we don't get straight to the point. And small talk, I would say it's not only a way of kind of breaking the ice, it's also a test of the waters as well. But it's designed to kind of see whether that person is going to want to be too direct.
Mm. I agree. Yeah, that's right. It's back to testing the waters, really, isn't it? It's yeah,
Yeah.
seeing what response you get.
So we should keep it quite light.
Yes.
Light conversation, never too heavy. What would you say not to talk about?
Politics is always a tricky one, isn't it? So avoid politics and religion as well, because yeah, that can cause a big divide, can't it? And that. So yeah, those are two big things to avoid. Also, I say you don't go in and say, "What's your job and how much do you earn?" You don't talk about money really like that.
No, money definitely not. I think a lot of people at parties kind of say they kind of introduce, "Hi, I'm Roy. I'm a teacher."
Yes.
They kind
Yeah.
of use their job that way, but you're not. Don't interrogate the person trying to find out what they do if they're not forthcoming. They
Yeah.
could be unemployed or between jobs. This is a
Mm,
classic bit of vocabulary. I'm between jobs at the moment.
mm. Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. And this brings me on to the politeness theory. Now I've talked
Mm.
about this.
Yeah.
The politeness theory is a theory proposed by Brown and Levinson, and it talks about different ways, different cultures, or different people will engage in different strategies, and it basically focuses around face to be polite. So there's different strategies of being polite, and it talks
Mm,
about this idea of face. So your face is your reputation and your kind of honor and your standing. And we have this expression to lose face and to save face. What what
mm.
what would you say lose face? If you've lost face, what would that mean?
Well, you've embarrassed yourself. Really, you've done something
Yeah.
that yeah makes
Or
you
you've been embarrassed.
or you've been embarrassed. Yes,
And
it's being awkward, an awkward situation. Yeah.
and saving face is the opposite. If I protect your
Mm,
reputation, your honor, I don't cause
yeah.
embarrassment. So if you think of this idea of face being this idea of standing and social reputation, and if I embarrass you, I cause you to lose face. And it's Brown and Levinson go into this idea that politeness theory, there are different ways of protecting that face. And one that British people tend to favor is something we call negative face. And this is the idea of independence, uh, being quite not being cornered or pressured into doing something. We are autonomous. Autonomy is the idea of sort of independence. And it
Mm.
would you say that's true for you? You don't like being made to feel uncomfortable, forced to do something?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, I don't want to show myself up either. I don't want to show any of my shortcomings or my inadequacies. So yes, in which case, yeah, I'd understand that then. Yeah.
And small talk is a way of protecting that negative face.
Hmm.
It's a negative politeness strategy because it's not too direct. It's very indirect. It's not too serious. It's not going to put you into a position where you feel awkward or you need confrontation. And it's
Hmm.
not going to impose on you. Key strategies of uh, negative politeness would be things like using hedging language. Could be perhaps we could, maybe. It's not forcing you to do something. Let's go now. That's really direct. Let's leave. Perhaps we could leave. These kind of things. Being more indirect rather than saying where is the station. We'd say things like, "Would you happen to know where the station is?" And also kind of minimizing any imposition. These are some of the strategies. Like rather than saying, um, "Can you do this?" I'd say, "Look, I know it's a big ask, or I know it's a massive favor, but would you mind helping me with this?" So those are some key strategies of negative politeness. But I think small talk fits into that
Hmm.
because it doesn't impose on the other person to have a deep conversation.
Yeah.
And this is where it comes from. This idea of politeness theory. It's like this idea that I'm protecting your face by not going too deep.
Yeah. Could you also ask? You could say to somebody, "Would you mind me asking you?" I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't ask their age, but would you mind me asking? What you do for work, or would you? Yeah, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then again, that's tentatively, and that could come into small talk. So you started saying, "Oh, may I ask your name? Would you mind if I asked you what you do for a living?" These
Hmm.
kind of things. You can engage a little bit once the ice is broken. You can
Hmm.
absolutely get into that.
Yeah.
But again, you're giving the person the option to say no.
Hmm.
But
Yes.
and this is the whole thing about negative. You're giving that person the option to say no. You're not pressuring them. And small talk is all about kind of showing that you are not a threat.
Yeah.
to that person's face. And that's the thing. Small talk is not threatening. It's a bit
No.
ridiculous at times, talking about the weather.
Yeah. But it gets over that embarrassment of standing there not saying anything at all. That's really what it does, isn't it?
Which is, yeah. So let's move back to that, because I genuinely do believe that British people are, on the whole, some are, they're not very comfortable with
Hmm.
silence.
Hmm.
I mean, there are levels of directness as well within the UK. Not all of us are as direct. I mean, and it's not seen, being direct is not always seen as being a bad thing. Being indirect is not always seen as being a good thing. Um, but even in, for example, in Yorkshire, who are known for being quite straight talking, straight talking, honest, these kind of things. These are seen as
Hmm.
really good qualities that a Yorkshireman or Yorkshire, someone from Yorkshire, will speak their mind. They'll say what they think. They'll be honest with you.
Hmm.
Whereas somebody maybe from the south, slightly more evasive.
Yeah.
But even then, I've lived in Yorkshire. I think you've been a lot to Yorkshire. Still, you get chats about the weather.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Or the
small talk
price of
is.
or the price of bread. There's another kind of trivial, not important matter, but people go, "Oh, the price of bread today."
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be careful not to start going into too much detail, because
Hmm.
sometimes price of bread. Well, that's directly linked to the cost of minimum wage. No, no, don't go that deep.
No.
It's just frivolous chat, gossip. We do engage in a bit of gossip as well sometimes,
Yeah.
but you need to be careful if it's somebody you don't know.
Hmm.
The other thing as well, we've talked about what to talk about, weather, and maybe some kind of current events or what you can see. Don't talk about the news unless it's light news, light-hearted.
Hmm.
Don't talk about what this politician is doing or that, because you don't know what their political views are. And
Hmm.
don't ask them about it.
No.
You could, if somebody doesn't engage when you start small talk, what should you do?
Well, usually make an excuse and move away. I think if you realize that the conversation is going nowhere, then you go, "Oh, well, nice to meet you," and you move on and talk to somebody else. Or you say, "Oh, I just need the toilet." And let's get the toilet. Or
Eh,
would you like another drink? I'll go and get you a
I
drink.
laugh
But of
like a
course,
donkey then, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
I'll just get myself something from the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but if
that,
if you know somebody doesn't want to make small talk or any conversation at all, I guess it's no point, what we say, flogging a dead horse. There's no
yeah,
point
flogging a dead
carrying
horse,
on.
absolutely.
Hmm.
This is true. Like, trying to do things over and over again to try and get a different result. I think Einstein said that was the definition of madness or something, sanity, doing the same thing, or definition of stupidity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Probably wasn't even Einstein. You can tell me who that was in the comments below. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you go, oh, terrible weather today, or oh, it's scorching today, and the British person goes, yeah, probably means they don't
Yeah.
want to engage.
Yeah.
And while I would always say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. In terms of small talk, if at first you don't succeed, give up.
Yeah. Good advice.
Key piece of advice. That's the bit where somebody clips that bit of the video and just puts that for everything. First you don't succeed, give up. But it's really intriguing, because I have a friend, and she said that her friend doesn't get on well with British people, basically, because she started off with, um, they tried to make small talk, and the first thing she sort of said was, "I don't like small talk," which kind of
Oh,
shuts down the communication.
yeah.
And I think, therefore, that goes back to that politeness theory. If a person is told in the UK that the person doesn't like something, we're not going to try again.
Hmm.
So if you say, "I don't really like small talk," I'm going to not do it again.
Yeah.
It's like shut down the level of communication, not because I'm rude, but because I don't want to impose on you. If
Yeah.
you say, "Roy, I don't like small talk," then I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah.
So the last thing I would want to do is impose. So once that avenue is shut down, the British person is going to be respectful, most of them, some of them, most of them, and not try to engage on the same level.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then that bleeds into British people never talk to me,
Yes.
which, yeah. So it really is about understanding the situation.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people talking, "Oh, I don't really like indirect conversation," but it's massive part of our culture.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's a key thing that you need to appreciate, maybe not enjoy.
And I think if you are learning English, it's probably worth learning a few kind of opening lines to make small talk. What do you think?
Yeah, things like, "Whoa, scorching today," or "Whoa, freezing today," or "Lovely weather today."
Yeah.
Key thing, if I say it's lovely, I think British people expect the other person to agree with them.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it would be slightly off if you said, "Oh, it's lovely today," and I say, "Not really. It's
I
freezing.
know.
You should
I
try
know.
you should try where I live." You'd stop, you'd disengage. So I think
Mm.
there's an element of scorching today. Oh my goodness, yeah. I think I need
Yeah.
to go and change my t-shirt or something like this.
Yeah, that's true. You tend to you need to agree, don't you, with what the person's just said, really. And even if you
Yeah.
don't disagree, if you disagree, then you could start by going, yeah, it is quite hot, but I think it'll be a bit colder tomorrow or something. If you want to get your point across,
Yeah.
start with agreeing and then subtly sort of disagree. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with your disagreeing.
I agree. Yeah,
But yeah, so small talk is a massive part of British culture. It is something you need to be very aware of. So the next time a British person at a bus stop says, "Oh, hot today," just agree. Just say, "Yeah, tell me about it." Wow, it's
mm,
hotter than where I'm from, and I'm from X. You can make a joke. You know, I'm from Saudi Arabia. It's hotter than Saudi Arabia today, and the British person will go, "Really?" And go, "Well, not really, but I'm expecting a camel to walk across something." Just a joke to kind of keep the conversation flowing. That also shows that you are safe, that
yeah,
you're not going to offend them and impose on them and stuff like this.
mm.
It's always good to make a joke, I think, in British culture. Talk about
Yes,
humor in another lesson.
mm.
But
Definitely make
on,
someone laugh, make someone smile. Then you're on the right track.
make them laugh, make them laugh. It's a song, isn't it? Oh dear. So on that note, I think we've had some lovely small talk in this conversation. We had a lovely chinwag actually, which has been a bit
Yeah,
of a longer chinwag. We've gone a bit deep on not going deep.
yeah.
We've talked about light conversation and we've talked about it in a quite deep way.
Mm.
But on that note, if you do want to support this podcast, there is a link down below to buy Rob or me a cup of tea. And apart from that, let us know anything else you would like to learn on this podcast. What other topics you'd love? But for me today, I just want to say thank you, Rob. Thank you for joining me. And everybody out there, thank you for listening. And I will see you in the next one.
Good stuff. Yes, been nice making small talk with you, Roy. See you again.
We'll have to catch up properly
Bye.
next time. Bye.